Welcome and good evening. There are victories, upsets, and seldom moments that go beyond the scoreboard in the world of professional sports. There are moments that defy reason, that change the story of what is conceivable, and that get ingrained in the collective memory of everyone who sees them. These are times when an athlete's unwavering will bends reality itself, and they are moments of sheer, undiluted heart. You should quit everything you're doing if you're a sports fan, a believer in the impossible, or you just like the tale of an underdog who perseveres. Because it wasn't simply a tennis match that took place in Abu Dhabi beneath the floodlights a few hours ago, it was more than a victory. It was a resurrection. The WTA circuit as a whole has been rocked by this declaration of such extreme resiliency, leaving players, coaches, and spectators speechless. We are discussing Alexandra Eala, a 20-year-old rising star from the Philippines who has been slowly and unrelentingly moving up the rankings. With a career-high world ranking of 45, she is the pride of her country, and a former junior Grand Slam winner who is currently making her way among the world's best. She accomplished more than just move up the rankings today, however. She made her way up a mountain. She gazed into the depths of certain loss, met the eyes of a cunning, seasoned opponent who had the match not only in her hands, but also sealed in her pocket, and grabbed it back in a manner that defied all of the book's statistics. This is how a miracle is put together. We must first remove the excitement and look at the harsh reality of the situation in order to fully appreciate the scope of this return. In February of 2026, the WTA circuit is deep in its infamously taxing Middle East swing. The competition at this famous WTA 500 tournament is fierce, the courts are harsh, and the conditions in Abu Dhabi are quick. Alexandra Eala entered as a straight acceptance, a genuine top 50 player, rather than as a qualifier or wild card. She was competing in qualifications and slogging through ITF events 2 years ago. She is now a known danger and a seeded player. However, that rating puts a lot of pressure on you. You are no longer the endearing underdog. Instead, you are a valuable scalp for players with lesser rankings and a real challenge for the top players on the circuit. Aleksandra Sasnovich of Belarus was her opponent in this round of 16 match. Sasnovich's rating of a 109 may seem innocuous on paper. However, such figure is untrue. The Belarusian is 31 years old and has seen it everything. She is a Fed Cup finalist, a seasoned tour player, and a player who has defeated many Grand Slam winners. Disruption is Sasnovich's specialty. Her style of play is unconventional. She can shift the path of the ball with ease and without warning, and her strokes are flat and penetrating. Sasnovich is a tactical nightmare for a rhythm player like Eala, who gets his energy from creating a groove and scoring points. She pushes your time, throws off your rhythm, and makes a tennis match uncomfortable and chaotic. Sasnovich performed like a top 10 player carrying out an impeccable game plan for 2/3 of this match, not merely a top 50 talent. To be honest, Eala had a terrible start to the match. The Filipino celebrity seemed flustered and heavy-legged. She didn't perform well, whether it was due to a poor start or the pressure of being the higher seed. Sasnovich, on the other hand, was outstanding from the start. Her approach was ruthlessly successful. Keep rallies brief and precise while attacking Eala's second serve mercilessly. Eala's serve, which she usually utilizes to build up her strong lefty forehand, was not working properly. In the first set, her first serve percentage was a pitiful 50%. It's like letting a wolf into your house when you only land half of your first serves against a returner as aggressive as Sasnovich. Eala had little time to establish her feet or fire her ground strokes as the Belarusian rushed her by moving inside the baseline and snatching the ball on the rise. The action was fairly and painfully reflected in the first set's 6-2 result. With her backhands touching the net tape and her forehands floating long, Eala was making unforced mistakes. Her face was etched with frustration. She continued to stare at her coaching box, seeking answers that were nowhere to be found. As if he were a puppet master, Sasnovich would tug Eala from side to side, reveal her movements, and complete points with precise volleys to the net. It was clear from the veteran's body language that this would be just another typical workday. After a swift 6-2, 6-3 victory and a courteous handshake, they moved on to the next round. Eala has developed her skills in the renownedly demanding atmosphere of the Rafa Nadal Academy. And if there is one thing the tennis world is starting to realize, it is that she does not know how to lose a match. A significant tactical change came at the start of the second set. Eala gave up attempting to outhit Sasnovich, a futile struggle against her opponent's forceful flat strokes. Rather, she started the difficult task of attempting to outgrind her. She gave herself an additional moment to recover by adding more topspin to her forehand, which made the ball heavier and forced Sasnovich back behind the baseline. She began using the moon ball, a high, looping shot, as a tactical weapon to reset the pace and disrupt her opponent's rhythm rather than as a defensive tactic. It was a brutal, attritional struggle rather than elegant tennis. However, it was successful. Eala broke early, was broken twice, and then broke once more at the crucial 4-4 point. At 5-4, the game reached its crucial point and served as a prelude to the impending miracle. Eala faced a break point while serving for the set, which would have tied the match at 5-5 and probably given Sasnovich the upper hand. She played a daring, amazing inside-out forehand winner that just missed the line in that pressure cooker moment. The audience sent forth a yell of appreciation. She won the set 6-4 after holding serve. You sense that the momentum had changed irreparably at this time. The audience, which was mostly pro-Filipino, exploded. "Laban Pilipinas!" chants reverberated throughout the stadium. All right, she survived the storm, you thought? In the third, she now takes control. At this point, the script was completely destroyed, not merely flipped. Eala absolutely broke down just when we thought she was in control. There was no explanation for the third set's beginning. Her vitality appeared to plummet down a precipice. The initial break was given away by an expensive double fault. 0-1, Sasnovich held easily. Eala was broken once again, sending a reckless volley into the goal to cut the score to 0-2. 0-3, Sasnovich held once again. 0-4. Let's take a moment to examine the psychology of depression in a deciding 0-4. Momentum is crucial in tennis. It is heartbreaking to put up such a strong fight to win the second set just to lose by double break in the third. All of that work seems to have been in vain. The racket seems like it weighs 50 pounds and your legs feel heavier. Eala seemed to be vanquished. She was moving slowly between places and had stooped shoulders. The match's obituary was already being written by the commentators. She battled so hard in the second, which is unfortunate because she is at her lowest point. In contrast, Sasnovich was playing with the leeway of a player who is aware that the finish line is in reach. She made it 5-2 after holding serve. We are standing here. The truth moment. To end the game, Sasnovich advances to the service line. You can notice that her arm is a little tense. She does, however, reach match point. Just 1 point. The quarterfinals are only 1 racket stroke away. In the deuce court, Eala is standing. Although she is hunched down, her expression has shifted. It is no longer hopelessness. It is unadulterated, undiluted disobedience. Sasnovich serves broadly. Eala lunges and floats a defensive slice back deep, just putting her racket on the ball. The rally starts, shots 10, 12, and 15. Eala isn't going to miss, running from corner to corner and collecting balls that ought to have been clear. Wins, she is a whirl of activity. Sensing victory, Sasnovich attempts to force a backhand later on. In what seemed like a heavenly intervention, it snags the net rope and returns to her own side. The match point was saved. That net cord wasn't a coincidence. The cosmos was flashing. Alexandra Eala knocked the door off its hinges because there was a crack in it. The atmosphere on the court drastically changed after that. Sasnovich was overcome by a psychological condition called the fear of winning. She began to consider the 4-0 advantage. The lost match point began to cross her mind. Her arm became mushy. Sensing blood, Eala entered the baseline. She made a winning forehand. Return, 0-2 nut 15. The tense energy that had been building in the Filipino audience erupted. Suddenly, Abu Dhabi sounded like downtown Manila. There was a thunderous cheer for each point that Eala won. It shook Sasnovich. At breakpoint, she made 2 mistakes. The score was 5-5. It was a true miracle. The comeback had begun. Both players held service to 6-6, forcing a 7-point shootout that is pure psychological anguish to decide the match in a tiebreak. The focus has shifted from tennis to who can cope with the current sickness. After falling down 0-2, Eala fought her way back to 3-3. It was a coin toss at 5-5, with 2 points separating each player from victory. Eala was the server, a dangerous kick that goes wide. It touched down. Sasnovich didn't come back. Eala launched himself into the open court with a self-assured driving volley. Eala, match point 6-5. One could sense the irony. She was dead and buried 20 minutes ago. She had the match key in her hand now. Serving was Sasnovich. There was one last desperate rally. Eala struck the Sasnovich backhand with a strong, deep topspin forehand. The Belarusian threw the backhand into the net, her spirit crushed and her footwork suddenly fading. Eala dropped her racket as soon as the ball struck the net. She covered her face with her hands, standing there trembling from a combination of relief, adrenaline, and pure shock rather than collapsing. It was her. A trip to the quarterfinals is not the only outcome of this triumph. It's a declaration. On tour, it alters Eala's reputation. That score will be seen by coaches and players. Sasnovich had a 4-0 lead. There was a match point for Sasnovich. Eala prevailed. That instills a unique kind of terror in adversaries. It communicates to the locker room that you are always vulnerable to Alexandra Eala. She will pursue you until you shake her hand at the net, even if you have her on the ropes. What is the lesson then? What can we learn from a late-night tennis match in Abu Dhabi? The scoreboard is dishonest, as we discovered, until the umpire yells, "Game, set, and match." We discovered that beliefs often determine whether a team wins or loses. When others didn't believe, Alexandra Eala did. She thought she was done when the scoreboard yelled. This triumph is a tribute to the human spirit, and a reminder that, just as in life, you are never really out of the battle until you make the decision to give up. Alexandra Eala persisted. She got right in. She struggled. And for years to come, people will relive the memories she made. This was more than simply a resurgence. It was the celebration of her resilience. After a victory like this, she enters the court with confidence that she can overcome any obstacle, even if the path ahead doesn't get any easier. She believes she is unbeatable, and that sensation is worth more than any ranking point for a 20-year-old just starting out on the circuit.